Hello friends of the blade, good to see you again, and today we are going to spend another few minutes thinking and talking about knives. In the last video we focused on the use of the Bowie knife as a fighting knife, and we have seen that it is a traditional American way, an American heritage of fighting with the Bowie knife, and this includes very important, the guard of the Bowie knife. And we have seen the roots relating back to the ancient, to medieval times. Well, today our topic is not so much the Bowie knife, but more the modern fighting knives. Well, modern, we will go a little bit back into time and next have a look at the world famous Fairbairn-Sykes fighting knife. I personally do not own the Fairbairn-Sykes dagger, but it is so an important knife in the history and development of fighting knives that we should have some looks on it. Here I have a book of Frederick Stevens on fighting knives, and on the first cover we already see the Fairbairn-Sykes knife. Back in 1939-1940, Captain Fairbairn and Captain Sykes, they served in Shanghai for the British forces, and Churchill demanded the development of a new fighting knife, and this was developed by them both, Fairbairn and Sykes, and was given to the British commando troop soldiers. And in fact, these guys were very proud to receive a Fairbairn-Sykes dagger, a fighting knife, because it had an enormous psychological effect. It was feared by the enemy soldiers, this knife really. However, it had some disadvantages, mainly the grip, because the grip was totally symmetric round, so the soldiers, if they were at night or in dark surroundings, they were not sure in which manner they just gripped the knife, if it had the blade directed or the flat of the blade directed to the enemy. So disadvantage was the grip. Another disadvantage was a very weak tip that often broke when using it as a pry bar. This knife could not be used for rough work, but it was, well, a killing knife, a Fairbairn-Sykes fighting knife. And later on the knife developed, the Fairbairn-Sykes, and there we have to mention this guy, show you in a minute. This guy here on the cover, this is Colonel Rex Applegate, and together with Fairbairn he developed in 1943 for the OSS, working as an instructor. Fairbairn and Applegate developed this knife. Yeah, this is the very famous Fairbairn-Applegate dagger, or Applegate-Fairbairn if you will. This modern version is made by Böker in 440C stainless steel, and this knife has solved the disadvantage of the Fairbairn-Sykes knife. The tip is has more flesh and is stronger, and what's more important, the quality of the grip is much better. You can see it's not totally symmetric, but it's flat, so even if you grip at night time, you will know if you have it this way or this way. This way feels totally uncommon, so you automatically roll it in your hand, so you grip it tight, and you can change in a minute, in a second, from saber grip to reverse grip, because it's totally well balanced, this grip. I'll show you a picture about the grip design. You can easily open it, and inserted in the grip are metal plates, so you can balance it according to your own preferences. Here in this I have all the metal plates in. It's a little more heavy, but it's very good to grip. The Applegate-Fairbairn dagger. Now, when we are talking about modern fighting knives, I want to recommend a lot an Italian company called Extrema Ratio to you. They really make awesome knives, and I consider Extrema Ratio the best European knife manufacturer. They make totally reliable and totally tough knives, all made of an Austrian N690 Böhler steel, a Böhler steel with very much cobalt, or with a little bit of cobalt in it. And they really test their knives in cooperation with universities, especially their grip. That's some kind like a faux brain, a grip material, a synthetic grip material that's the best, in fact, I ever tested on a knife. And as far as the fighting knives are concerned of Extrema Ratio, there are two rather well known. It's here the Colmosine, which has a blade of 16 centimeters, and the slightly longer Doberman 3. The Doberman has a blade of 18 centimeters. Well, and if you order Extrema Ratio knife, you will get it in a box like this. I mention this with the box because there are quite a lot of Chinese fake copies of the Extrema Ratio knives that come in cheap boxes, but even in the box here you can recognize even the box is high quality, and so are their knives. And with every Extrema Ratio knife you will get this maintenance sheet. So without it, I recommend you buy Extrema Ratio knives only at authorized dealers. Then you are on the safe side. So this beauty is the Doberman 3 knife, and well, to me it looks somehow totally aesthetic. And let's see, can be fixed to your belt in many fashions. This is a blade, 18 centimeters, and there is another review here about the blade on YouTube, and this guy points out the point design is not tanto, because it's not with an edge. It has a smoothened edge here, so it's well, hard to describe. In fact, it's a unique blade and tip design of this Doberman 3. Thickness is 6 millimeters, so really strong blade. And this is the faux brain handle that I mentioned. And you can easily dismount the handle. You only have one screw fixing the handle to the grip. And it's balanced totally well, awesome knife. It is, well, I think it's my most favorite modern fighting knife. If we are not speaking of Bowie knives, of course. Here you have comparison between the Böker Applegate dagger and this one. You see, this blade is about 15 centimeters, this 18 centimeters. Well, and both of them have at least a small guard. I think this purpose is more to prevent the thumb from sliding forward. than preventing another blade, like the blade catchers on the Bowie knives. So modern fighting knives do not necessarily have a guard. But I'm glad that these Extrema Ratio knives they have. So this Doberman 3, awesome fighting knife, and this very distinctive design of the Extrema Ratio knives, you feel comfortable with this grip in a second. Immediately when you grip it, you are on the safe side. The first two fingers grip here, the others grip here. And you also see you have full tang design. The tang ends here, so you can even smash windows if you are in need to do so. So this is a Doberman 3. And what I also did regarding the sheath design, the sheath is totally functional. Meanwhile, this is from the year 2009. Meanwhile, they have even changed their sheath design. And I modified it a little bit so that the knife grips tight, but not too tight. When it came from the factory, the sheath was even too strong to release the knife. You had to pull like a horse to get it out. This now you still have to pull, but it's easy. And how did I do it? You will see it here. I took a little saw and I hope the camera can fix this, and cut off a little bit of this sheath here where my index finger points. You will see one original sheath in comparison. Here, this one on the left is a modified, and originally it looked like this. Has here some kind of plastic nose, and this gripped the knife far too heavy. Yeah, can demonstrate it. So, and the knife, oh, you had to pull and pull and pull with lots of force. And the way I modified it still grips. You see it hanging. Still works fine, this Extrema Ratio Doberman. Now, another design, this is about the year 2009-2010, is, I want to present you from Extrema Ratio, is this one. This model is called the Harpoon. It's not made anymore. It has the same N690 Böhler steel. It has no plastic sheath but a neoprene, like a diver suit, a sheath. And also an awesome knife. This they call the tiger stripe design. And blade is slightly longer, about 21 centimeter. But what's nice about Extrema Ratio, they design their knives so that you can mix up parts. This is, for instance, the first generation grip. This is the second generation grip. First generation grip, the plastic, the synthetic material they used, is a little bit harder. And it has on the grip, I think you can see it, some insert so that you can grip more secure. And what's good, you can change, you can dismount this grip and use the second generation grip. And you see like the small cross guard is the same in the earlier generation and in the later generation. That's so cool about the Extrema Ratio knives, that you can interchange the grips. And here in the earlier times they even put some info on the blade. It says 58 Rockwell degree stainless cobalt steel. The Böhler steel, the N690 Böhler steel from Austria, is a cobalt steel, high cobalt steel. It has carbon 1%, chrome 70%, 17. So it's comparable to 440C, but with the addition of having cobalt in it. If you dig the Extrema Ratio knives on the web, be very careful, because there are so many fakes from China. And well, this might be due to the fact that these knives are on the one hand very simple constructed, where it's just one piece of metal and the grip fixed with one screw only, but on the other hand so well thought out and well balanced. This is the most balanced knife, the Doberman 3, and to my mind it's the best fighting knife in the world. Best contemporary fighting knife. I think this one, the Harpoon, would work as a fighting knife too. The tip design is not so needle sharp like the Doberman. This goes a little bit more into the Tanto direction. Well, that's it, Extrema Ratio. And in a second you will see a picture of one fake Extrema Ratio that I bought. So be sure that you buy it from an authorized dealer. Only original Extrema Ratio. Okay guys, thank you.